This is Pete Feenstra on Tuesday the 26th of July 2011, celebrating 10 years of Jimmy C and the Blues Dragons. Jimmy C on my immediate right, Mr. A the sax player, better known to his friends as Antonio the Mystery Man on saxophone. We're here to celebrate, as I say, 10 years of Jimmy C and the Blues Dragons. Jimmy C comes all the way from Vancouver, Canada.
Canada, yes.
And it's 10 years since the band started, unbelievable. Where did you meet Mr. A?
Well, when I came from Japan to here into London for the first time, I went to a few jams to try to establish band members. And actually, Mr. A, I met him one the first or second time, and then we just created a relationship. And actually, he's my right-hand man. Between the two of us, we've been in the same lineup right from the beginning.
And you were playing with Gino when I last saw you.
Oh, yes.
Gino, Gino. And doing some blues and jazz and stuff like that?
Blues and jazz, the usual stuff, is quite good.
Who are your influences?
Well, the usual jazz stars, you go right back to the 40s, like Parker and Coltrane, and but also usual.
Well, Mr. A was an established jazz player, and that's what I wanted to bring to the blues. Just to bring the different elements of it, because jazz and blues are really the same side. I think blues is first, wasn't it?
Sure.
So
historically.
So now for the future, we bring the two elements and we create our own.
And the thing is, Jimmy, you mentioned Japan at the outset. Of course, you're quite well known over there. You were with the legendary High Tide House, who I met many years ago.
Yes,
and I believe you were, and I think he was quite big over there. How did you hook up with him?
Well, there was another local player called Tad. He was famous, kind of like the BB King equivalent of Tokyo, actually. And he would always play with High Tide, and a few times we played together, a few shows. So after that, I made a relationship with High Tide, and I would go to shows. He'd come to my shows, we'd sit in together. So the only problem was that because of my language barrier, it was difficult to reach the next level.
Canadian
and all that. So I was still playing all the time, but it was a little bit difficult. And then when I was persuaded to come to London, I kind of used one of my connections from Tokyo to actually establish me in London. I've actually never looked back since. So.
And it took you a while to establish yourself, but then since then you've been to Greece, you've been to Russia, you've been to Japan again?
This year, Russia, France, Scotland.
Wow.
So I'm starting to get little tours now finally, but it's without management, without
a label. But you haven't got an album out at the moment?
Well, 3 albums. The one right now is Glassfull of Blues, the latest one, and a new one in the works. So.
And the new one's live?
Not yet, but we're still at one which
still working on it right now?
I've actually got lots of recordings of live music. We just have not assembled it to make a proper.
What were the other 2 albums that people can watch out for that you've already done?
Well, I've done Snake Charmer,
which is great.
Which is one we've had. It's sold out its runs, and then there was a few individual, releases and compilations I've been into.
Can people check them out on the website and stuff?
Most of the stuff you can check on the website, and basically you can just buy them from the gigs as well. But through the website, of course, there's always a sample.
And what is the website?
www.bluesdragons.com. That's Blues Dragons.
Okay. When you were back in Vancouver, who are the kind of people you were playing with back then?
Well, I was in Vancouver last January, so I usually play with most of the local players who are established there, like Doc Fingers, Lindsay Mitchell. Of course, Jim Burns, which I don't play with him, but I know him personally, and we sometimes play together, so he's of course well known. And there's another great guitar player from Western Canada called David Gogo, which he's a well-established player, so we played together a few times too. So he's actually trying to crack here.
He's done a couple of times and done well.
So he's starting to do well. So basically, and of course, Colin James, everybody knows him. So these are the Vancouver guys.
And do you find it kind of a more compressed scene in London rather than kind of on the whole of the west coast?
I like the London scene because of that. It's so vast, yet it's easy to know all the players, but the venues are endless. Because basically you discover one and you can create another. So there's one thing about the London market: you can actually make your own market.
A splash, And do the two of you write songs together at all?
We actually do. Most of the stuff is, I write the majority of stuff, and then we collaborate after I bring the ideas in. So most of it's like that. So.
And getting back to the Russian trip that you did, I think you made some live recordings over there too.
Yes,
right?
that you can actually catch on the website. There's many of the live stuffs on DVD. You can actually download that and check it out. I am planning to make. It's been 10 years in the making of the live in Tokyo, but now live in Moscow. So I was thinking of making a live around the world
for the 10th anniversary, which would be really good. Well, we're going to have a fun time tonight at the Beaverwood. It's the first time we've ever played here, anywhere near here. We had a good response. I think it's going to be a good night. And, I hope people check your album out. It's called, one more time, it's called
Glassfull of Blues.
Glassfull of Blues. About 12 tracks on that.
There's actually 13, lucky 13. So you can download 3 or 4 for free. The rest you gotta
And if you had to describe your music to all the people out there who haven't already seen you, other than fun, feel, rock and blues, who are your influences that you bring to bear on?
Well, of course, I try to bring in Albert King and T-Bone Walker, but then it's usual swing and things. But of course, everyone loves the electric blues too. So any of the electric blues players that pop out, especially the original, British Invasion players. That's what brought me here in the first place.
Oh, really?
To sound like early Eric Clapton or Jeff Beck or even Peter Green. It's time before when they were actually making new, inroads on blues. Really, because to me, that's the last time blues actually went forward.
Yeah. Well, you're projecting it forward right now, Jimmy.
Okay, well, let's try.
We're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Watch out for Jimmy C and the Blues Dragons, ladies and gentlemen. It's been Pete Feenstra talking to Mr. A. It's been an absolute pleasure. Jimmy C on my right, and Jeff on the camera. Thank you very much and good evening.
Thank you.